everyone, welcome to Secondhand Blasters. This is your boy Normatico here, and today we are actually going to be doing something that a lot of people don't normally do. Now, in the blaster community, there is a quasi-xenophobic idea that you do not trust Chinese-made goods. I'm going to address that right now. There's a difference between Chinese-made and Chinese manufactured and designed. Almost all of the blasters that were created before were manufactured in China, so they do qualify as Chinese-made goods. Now, there are some companies that do what we would call knockoff blasters that are not quite Nerf, not quite Dart Zone, not quite Zuru, perform badly, and they sell for dirt cheap on the market. However, not all Chinese manufacturers are the same. There are some out there that do make some quality product, maybe not necessarily to the standards that some modders like, but things that are definitely worth picking up and playing with. Of those things that on Amazon the other day, I was just searching around and something just popped to the top of my list. It was a sponsored advertisement and I was like, all right, let me see what this is about. The company is called Admiring-US, which is obviously a front company that is based out here in the US for someone that lives actually in China. So I better learn how to speak Mandarin because I ordered it and it came in, and this is the bread machine launcher. I was about to call it a blaster because that's what we call it, but they call it launchers. The reason I need to speak Mandarin is because, yeah, everything is in Mandarin with the exception of a couple of letterings here. And bread machine, bread-machine, launcher. So I don't know if this launches bread machines or what, but we will see why they call it that. I'm sure it's something that is lost in translation from Chinese Mandarin to English. Whatever. I will say that looking at this box, I'm a fan of this. The way that this is boxed up, this looks really nice. This is actually a pretty sturdy box, something that you could actually store something in afterwards. You can reuse this box, or you could actually use it to ship in. So I might keep it for something else. Oh, wow. All right, so, okay. Let me actually show you this box. That packaging, for something that is a Chinese company that we like to make fun of and say it's a Chinese knockoff brand, this packaging is legit. Like, that is legit. That's not going anywhere. That is form-fitting. Of course, the instructions are in Mandarin. There are no English translations for this. However, let's be honest here. I am of the persuasion, of the sex, if you will, that doesn't read instructions. It's a blaster. We should be able to figure this out, right? Yeah. Yep. All right, so without changing the camera angle, what it does come with, it looks like 10 darts, 10 mini darts, and much to my surprise, these look like they are actual standard size mini darts, not the quarter size darts that some of the Chinese brands bring. You have 2 magazines. That's kind of cool. That's one step above some of the Hasbro products already. I don't know how many of these hold. According to the advertisement, it said it only holds 4 magazines. That's fine, but you get 2 magazines, so 4 rounds in each magazine. You get safety glasses. I will add them to my collection of safety glasses. Are these adjustable? Oh my gosh, these are adjustable. That's pretty cool. These are adjustable safety glasses, so they fit both adult and children's sizes. That's not bad. I mean, you know, could be a little cleaner. I'm sure there's probably a film here that I got to peel off, but that is not bad at all. And they even actually come to the side here, so you don't have to worry about getting something to the side. All right, I'm impressed so far. Obviously, it doesn't take much to impress me, but okay, I'm digging that. And then the blaster. Let me go ahead and set this box to the side. I am not going to throw this box away because I kind of like that box. So this is what we pay for. This blaster is normally $39.99. I think that they were having a couple of percentages off of the price. It does come in green, purple, and blue. Purple was sold out by the time I hit my purchase option, but I got this one in the blue. It does have a clear shell to it, so you can actually see the internals, which is kind of really cool. Oh, wow. So I guess it either came primed. I see the spring is right here. That's interesting. That is really cool. Okay. The form itself does remind me of a much larger Falcon Fire. I had a brain fart there for a second. I was going to say AccuStrike. Well, of course it's AccuStrike. The Falcon Fire. I'm actually going to stop the recording really quick so we can actually grab one of those and do a comparison. Okay, so I grabbed my Falcon Fire. Falcon Fire, bread machine. So it really does look like the Falcon Fire went to an all-you-can-eat Chinese buffet and engorged itself and became the bread machine. Both actually feature the priming on up top, and you breach. Wow, that is a really tough spring. Okay, so you actually pull that back really hard, and you have to wait for it to click. That exposes the mag well. It is an internal mag well. And you just load the magazine in here. Let's take a look here. I haven't loaded the actual darts yet in here yet. Okay. It's spring loaded. Pull that there, and you fire. All right, well, that sounds like it has a kind of a decent spring. Oh, man, this is a really difficult prime. I'm going to have to add some grip tape here. With how hard this thing is to prime, I expect it to shoot pretty fast. I mean, that's a hard prime. So you do have an ejector button here, which, of course, I have seen video of this before, but let's see here. That's fun. I like that. That's just really fun. So that in the heat of battle will look awesome. It's definitely going to look like something out of a John Woo movie where it's, you know, you're just like, last round, cash it, put the next one in, and there you go again, and Okay, that's just worth the price of admission right here. I think that feature is what you're paying for, because this blaster, like I said, it's $39.99. I don't see, other than that, why it would be $39.99 unless you are getting some Dart Zone performance. But that right there is cool. I wish that other companies would follow suit and do that design, maybe with something a little bit more than this. But yeah, that's cool. I like this. I like this a lot. So, yeah. That prime, though, is a little bit difficult. You may have to make sure to muscle that in. I would say that gives you about, I want to say 20 pounds of pressure with your arms that you do that. And yeah, this is good. The build on this is actually pretty amazing. The plastic's good. It doesn't feel like it's a cheap, bendy plastic. I would actually put this better than some of the things that Hasbro's doing with their Alpha Strike and some of their Elite 2.0 blasters. The plastic is solid. Yeah. Okay. When it comes to actually holding this, you do get a pistol grip, which is kind of nice. Oh, wow. That actually extends a little bit, so a hand like mine does fit here pretty comfortably. You know, you have a little beaver tail back here that covers over the rest of your hand, and there's enough trigger space here for an adult finger. So, yeah, this is not bad at all. There are no tactical rails on here, so what you see is what you get. You could probably go ahead and go to Etsy and get a hold of some either Nerf tactical rail printouts or Picatinny rails that you could install here yourself. I do see where there's enough plastic here between the shell and the actual internals for you to screw in some things. Or if you prefer to use glue, you could probably use Gorilla Glue on that. So if you really wanted a sight or something, you could go ahead and do so. Of course, I would not recommend doing a sight up top, only because of the fact that you have this sliding mechanism. So the only place for a sight would be here, either that or a rail up here as well, and that's it. One thing I will notice is that once you actually prime it, there is no catch. You can actually open this up at any time once it is primed. That is interesting, to say the least. Normally, they would actually put a lock in place there that would engage, at least in most Hasbro products they do. And yeah, I guess if I was to put a rail anywhere, it would be either here or down here. Yeah, no, that would actually be pretty cool to have a handle on this, maybe with a light or something. But this is good. This is actually really good so far. Of course, now we're going to test to see how it performs. I'm going to actually run this through a chronograph. Let's see what speed we can get from this. I don't expect to get top speed out of this, only because, again, it is a Chinese manufactured and designed product. Most of those are not known for breaking any speed records. But if I hit the 60 range, I'll be okay with this. I do wonder, though, if I could take this apart. I don't think so. This might be solvent welded. Yep. There's the rub. It is welded solid. You were doing so well, my friend, and then you had to be glued together. You have one screw here to hold the priming handle open, or together, but there are no screws here. That's kind of sad. I'm a sad panda right now. Well, all that will be for naught if it actually performs the way I hope it performs. Now for the chronograph. Okay, so the chronograph readings were pretty much what I expected, and at the same time kind of all over the place. So at some point in times we hit 80. I believe we got up to 82 with some darts, and then we also got as low as the 50s. So we're averaging anywhere in that 60 to 70 range, which is okay. We are now going to do an accuracy test to see how accurate this blaster is. Of course, I'm set up in my hallway again because I don't think this one's going to be a long distance blaster. And we're going to try to aim between the two doors like I always do, from 25 feet away. That is not bad for accuracy. I think I only saw 2 darts that didn't hit their mark completely, and the variance that they hit it off by was just by a couple of inches. So this is a very accurate blaster, which means if they actually copied, quote unquote, the Falcon Fire to make this blaster, that was a good call because that's a pretty accurate blaster as well. Yeah, I'm going to be back with my final thoughts here in 1 second. Okay, so here are my final thoughts regarding the bread machine. You know what? I'm not upset that I got this blaster because obviously I like to try anything that's new and I love innovation. So this delivers in that. In the sense that it's new, it does look a lot like a Falcon Fire. I admit that. I said that when I first saw it. Oh my gosh, it's a Chinese Falcon Fire. However, it is different than the Falcon Fire because the Falcon Fire, you actually pull it back and it's a single shot. It's a single loader. There's no actual internal magwell like this one has. So in that sense, it is new. The execution of it, it could have been better. Let me just tell you why I don't like the blaster before I tell you why I do. There's no way to open this up. So as someone who actually likes to tinker, that is a major turnoff for me. I can see where there's actual connectors here where screws may have gone had they chosen to put them in, but those might be glued in there. So I do not know. I might have to take apart pieces of this blaster to see if it can come apart, but as it stands right now, it does not look very mod friendly. I do like the uniqueness of that spring being up there in the front. I love this ejecting shell idea. This is great. This is fantastic to me. That right there is just really fun. I think it's really cool. You know, I think it's great. I guess that one was loaded. I will tell you that it is easy to accidentally chamber 2 rounds into the tube itself, mainly because of the fact that if you do not pull this back to prime completely and make sure that it clicks, it's going to push the actual dart up in there the first time, and then the next time you do it, it's going to grab the other dart. So be careful with that. This is kind of a hard prime. It says that this is rated for ages 8 and up, and I'm sure that most 8-year-olds would probably have a hard time priming this. Again, even sometimes it's slipped in my hands. This plastic grip here, it helps, but it does hurt a little bit. I would actually probably try to do like a silicone wrap over this to get more of a firm grip on this priming handle. Now, other than that, the blaster performs okay. It is not as bad as I was expecting at first when I saw that it was coming from China. Now, I will tell you that we got numbers in the 80s, but that is not the normal. You are looking at an average of in the 70s, and also it might dip down into the 40s and 50s. However, I can explain why we would get those numbers. One of the issues is that actual priming mechanism. If you do not push it back and give it a little bit of an oomph when you actually close it, you are going to get a lower number, mainly because the dart doesn't load all the way properly. So make sure when you're actually playing with this blaster that you give that a good little force in there, you hear that click, and then you should be able to see the dart go out with higher speed. Regarding dart types, stick with the darts that it came with. There's that. The original darts that it comes with, you get, I said 10 earlier, it's actually 12, which is kind of cool. And then you also can use the Ember darts, the Adventure Force Ember darts, or the Dart Zone Ember darts, minis. Those work really well with this blaster. If you actually happen to have a Game Face Try-On and you have the mini darts that Game Face produces, you can go ahead and use those as well. The Worker Gen 2s that I use, they were consistent in their 60s, but nothing that was to write home about, I'll be honest with you. From all the talk that I hear about Worker and their Gen 2s and Gen 3 darts, I have not had that experience with the ones that I have. However, I have been told that there was a batch that was released that was subpar. I may have gotten that batch. Who knows? But I report on what I see, and what I see is that those darts are not the greatest. I would rather stick with Dart Zone. I did not run bamboo darts through here only because of the fact that I don't really have very many left that are in good shape. Also, I don't see this being a performance blaster that the bamboo darts are going to make much of a difference over what I already saw. When I am capping out at 82 feet per second on one shot and the average is in the 70s, it doesn't matter with bamboo darts. I'm going to be honest with you. Regarding the accuracy, I was impressed with it. The accuracy was pretty spot on. There was a little bit of a variance there of a couple of inches on either side. However, for the most part, almost every single one of my rounds hit that intended target between the two doors. So I'm happy with this. I did not do a distance test, and I want to apologize because normally I would actually go out and measure how far this blaster can fire. I am going to let you know right now that this blaster is not for outdoor use. Absolutely not. You can try if you want to. I'm not going to stop you. However, this particular blaster, it is more for indoor use. The blaster is not that strong. You're not going to get that much of a distance. They promote that you can get up to 75 feet, and I believe that. Based on the chronograph readings, I do believe that we will launch 75 feet with an angled shot with a tailwind. However, what they do say is that you'll get anywhere realistically between 35 and 40 feet, and I can definitely see that. My hallway, I had a couple of shots that they were starting to curve downwards a little bit, and that was only after 25 feet. So I can see this getting to the 35 to 45 feet without a problem. Because of that, I recommend it for indoor play, not for outdoor play. I will tell you that this does have a good little heft to it. The total package that I purchased weighed about 2 pounds. I'd say that about 1.5 pounds of that is in this blaster. So this is a pretty heavy duty plastic. It is pretty firm. You do have these plastic, I guess, trims on the bottom of the handle and the well. It is a little bit of a sharp edge, so try not to knock yourself or knock somebody with this. But other than that, this is a decent offering. I would be okay with recommending you to get this, only because of the fact that it is a limited run from what I was able to tell. The last time I checked on Amazon, there were only about 8 total blasters left, and it's not a coming soon when they're empty. No, they just removed the listing when it's gone. So if you want to go ahead and look that up, go ahead. It is the Bread Machine Blaster, Bread Machine Launcher. Speaking of which, before I let you go, I did figure out why they called it Bread Machine. Here is my theory. I should say I didn't figure it out, but here's my theory on why they call it the Bread Machine. It is a mistranslation. What would you call a bread machine? What cooks bread? A toaster. That is kind of like what this does. When it launches up, like, hey, look, your toast is ready. Get it? The Bread Machine is talking about a toaster because it ejects the magazine like a cartoony piece of toast. So if you were wondering why do they call it the Bread Machine, that has to be it. That's my best explanation, and I'm sticking to it that's going to be headcanon from now on. This was just a misnamed blaster. It is an example of, and pardon the phrase, I am quoting an actual book of Chinglish, that is Chinese English, where they're trying to say one thing and it just directly translates into something else, but they don't really cross-reference with what they're really trying to say. So that being said, the Bread Machine Launcher, I'm going to call this one the toaster because hey, if you get hit with it, you're toast. So I do want to go ahead and thank you for watching Secondhand Blasters. Again, if you want to go ahead and actually hit a like or subscribe, I would really appreciate that. I am trying to get to 100 subscribers where I'm going to be giving away a free blaster to one of my lucky subscribers. I'm going to be launching a video soon that is going to tell people how that contest is going to be run, but I have to wait until I hit 100 before I can actually give out that blaster. So if you want to go ahead for a chance to enter, subscribe, go ahead and give me a like. And if you have any comments about this blaster and what you see, or if you have any blasters that you say, hey, Normatico, I want to see what your review is and what your hot take is on this blaster, go ahead, reach out to me, send me an email, leave a comment. I always interact with anybody who leaves any sort of comment on my YouTube channel. You can actually go through and look at the other videos, and you'll see that my comments, my replies, I reply almost within the hour. So it's one of those things. I do actually have a job besides this, so if it does take a little bit longer than that, please forgive me. However, I try to interact with the people. Again, thanks so much for watching Secondhand Blasters. Until next time, keep on blasting.